There is a big problem between the cost of medications and the amount that they're covered by our medical plan. And most people who have MS are actually required to stop working because of the severity of their illness. And they don't have the money to pay $300 a month for medical bills that the government is not willing to cover in any way. So there is a movement going on right now with the provincial election coming up to create some responsibility in our provincial government for taking care of MS and for our medical system to play a bigger role in helping these people. And I have some contact information up at the front here if you are interested in finding out more about that movement and more about the different roles that parties are taking on this issue. You can check out the website, I've got it up here. Mssociety plays a really big role in our local community for supporting people with MS. They provide education for people who are recently diagnosed, education for caregivers. They provide physical services, access to wheelchairs, access to different programs in the community that can provide support like physiotherapy, counseling. And they provide recreation activities and an opportunity for people with MS to meet one another and support each other as a community. The MS Society is primarily funded in each chapter by its local community, so events like this and events like the MS Walk are really, really important, and they have a huge effect on what kind of programming we're going to see for these people in our community. So thank you for your donations. Everything we've given here tonight is going to have a direct impact on our local community. And we have a representative with us from the MS Society, and he's a really close family friend of mine actually, and he's just going to give us a little bit of information about his experience of dealing with this disease.
One of the biggest things, like today is our walk, and it's the biggest, our biggest fundraiser for our community even now here. And one of the biggest things that we work hard to raise money for, towards a cure and towards the support of our people that have MS. And the other thing I wanted to say actually is I would like to thank all the volunteers first of all. And I want to thank the Grateful Fed, whoever is running this place, for even allowing us to have this here, and to all the volunteers. And I know for sure that our community and our even the members of our MS Society are just grateful, totally. I guess from my own personal experience, my wife has MS, and we moved here about 10 years ago, and we hadn't even had the diagnosis of the MS before this happened. And we got here, and within a week after we moved all the way from Ontario, like Toronto, she just went blind in one of her eyes. And she was just starting to get testing back before we moved here because her legs stopped working. That was some of the symptoms that my wife had. And then we got here, and she was like blind, like in one eye completely. And by the time we got plugged into the healthcare here in BC and all that stuff, and seeing doctors and that, they figured out that she was never going to get her eyesight back in the one eye, and it's been going on for 9 years since she had it. I just recently got on the board, our board of directors, just over the past month, so we're working really hard to try and get more support for our members and for people that have to deal with this type of disability. And that we belong to a team that we work with with the MS Walk, and in BC we are the #1 fundraising team in BC, which is